Start first.
Yes, please start.
Start with Omkaras. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Gananam tva Ganapatikum Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamastravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanasvata Shunvannotivissidasadanam Mahaganapataye Namaha. Prano Devi Saraswati Vajevadinivati Dhinama Vitrayavato Vagdevyai Namaha. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Jatavedate sunavamaso mamarati yato nidahati vedaha Tanah parsyadati durgani vishwanameva sindunduritatyagnih Sam agnivarna tapasa jvalanti vairochanim karma phaleshu dushtam Durgam Devi Gum Charanamaham Prapadye Sutarasi Tarase Namaha Agne Tvam Parayanavyo Asman Svasti Bhirati Durgani Vishwa Oshva Prithvi Bahulana Urvi Bhavato Kayatanaya Yashayo Vishwanino Durgaha Jataveda Sindhum Nanavaduritaati Parshi Agne Atrivan Manasa Gunano Osmakam Bhodhya Vitatanuna Pritanaditagum Sahamana Mugram Agnigum Huvema Paravat Sadastaat Sana Parshadati Durgani Vishwachamadhevo Adiduritatyagnihi Ratnoshikamityo Advareshu Sanatya Hotanapyasya Satsi Svancha Agni Tanuvam Pipraya Swasvabhyam Tasauhagamaya Jatsva Gobhirjushtamayi Jonisikantavendra Vishnoranusancharema Nagasya Prishtamabhisambhasano Vaishnavillokayavadayattam Om Tatyayanaaya Vidmahe Kanyakumari Dhimahi Tanno Durge Prachodayat Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu. Tapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma रामकृष्णाय ते नमः जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मेतयो श्रुत्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे Just follow after me. Guruve Tai, Guruve Tante, Guruve Tai, Guruve Tante, Guruve Vadadara, Guruve Daivatadara, Guruve Bandhu Dayatin, Guruve Bandhu Dayatin, Guruve Bandhu Dayatin, Guruve Krupeya Sakara, Guruve Krupeya Sakara. Guruve Brahma, Guruve Vishnu, Guruve Brahma, Guruve Vishnu, Guruve Paramaheshvara, Guruve Paramaheshvara. Guru Guru Paratara Para Brahma, Guru Paratara Para Brahma, Guru Vesakala Adara, Guru Vesakala Adara, Tamavakale Tamava Kakaledu Benakatanta, Tamava Kaledu Benakatanta, Dina Bandhu Guru Hara, Dina Bandhu Guru Hara, Karma Bandha Taridadhira, Karma Bandha Taridadhira, Ninagido Namaskara, Ninagido Namaskara, Ninagido Namaskara, Ninagido
Read and follow. Repeat after me. हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, करुणामय पालय मां, करुणामय पालय मां, हे दीनबंधु श्री शारदेश, हे दीनबंधु श्री शारदेश, मम प्राण प्रिय पाहि मां, मम प्राण प्रिय पाहि मां, हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, करुणामय पालय मां, करुणामय पालय मां, हे दीनबंधु श्री शारदेश, हे दीनबंधु श्री शारदेश, मम प्राण प्रिय पाहि मां, मम प्राण प्रिय पाहि मां, प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, करुणामय पालय मां, करुणामय पालय मां, हे दीनबंधु श्री शारदेश, हे दीनबंधु श्री शारदेश, मम प्राण प्रिय पाहि मां, 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 हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, 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 करुणामय पालय मां, करुणामय पालय मां, करुणामय पालय मां, करुणामय पालय मां, हे दीनबंधु श्री शारदेश, हे दीनबंधु श्री शारदेश, हे दीनबंधु श्री शारदेश, हे दीनबंधु श्री शारदेश, मम प्राण प्रिय पाहि मां, मम प्रिय पाहि मां, मम प्राण प्रिय पाहि मां, मम प्राण प्रिय पाहि मां, मम प्राण प्रिय पाहि
पाहि मां
मम प्राण प्रिय पाहि मां
हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण
हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण
हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण करुणामय पालय मां करुणामय पालय मां हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश
हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश
हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश
हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश
मम प्राण प्रिय पाहि मां मम प्राण प्रिय पाहि मां हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण
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 करुणामय पालय मां
करुणामय पालय मां
करुणामय पालय मां
करुणामय पालय मां
हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश
हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश
हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश
हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश
मम प्राण प्रिय पाहि मां
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 Don't follow this.
तव कृपे बेळगली भव भ्रमे कಳೆಯಲಿ तव कृपे बेळगली भव भ्रमे कಳೆಯಲಿ शिवे श्री शारदे तव करी मोरेयुवे शिवे श्री शारदे तव करी मोरेयुवे ಇಂದು ವಿಮಲೆ ವಂದಿತ ಪದತಲೆ ಇಂದು ವಿಮಲೆ ವಂದಿತ ಪದತಲೆ ಕುಂದದ ಪ್ರೇಮದ ಮುಂದಾಗಿಯೇ ಇಂದು ವಿಮಲೆ ವಂದಿತ ವಂದಿತ ಪದತಲೆ ಕುಂದದ ಪ್ರೇಮದ ತವ ಕೃಪೆ ಬೆಳಗಲಿ ಭವ ಭ್ರಮೆ ಕಳೆಯಲಿ ತವ ಕೃಪೆ ಬೆಳಗಲಿ ಭವ ಭ್ರಮೆ ಕಳೆಯಲಿ ಶಿವೆ ಶ್ರೀ ಶಾರದೆ ತವ ಗದಿ ಮೋರೆಯುವೆ ಶಿವೆ ಶ್ರೀ ಶಾರದೆ ತವ ಗದಿ ಮೋರೆಯುವೆ ತ್ಯಾಗ ತ್ಯಾಗ ವಿಮೋಚಿತೆ ತ್ಯಾಗೆ ಕುಲಾಂಬಿಕೆ ತ್ಯಾಗ ವಿಮೋಚಿತೆ ತ್ಯಾಗಿ ಕುಲಾಂಬಿಕೆ ಯೋಗೇಂದ್ರಾರ್ತಿಗೆ ಯೋಗ ಪ್ರದಾತೆ ತ್ಯಾಗ ವಿಮೋಚಿತೆ ತ್ಯಾಗಿ ಕುಲಾಂಬಿಕೆ ಯೋಗೇಂದ್ರಾರ್ತಿಗೆ ಯೋಗ ಪ್ರದಾತೆ ತವ ಕೃಪೆ ಬೆಳಗಲಿ ಭವ ಭ್ರಮೆ ಕಳೆಯಲಿ ತವ ಕೃಪೆ ಬೆಳಗಲಿ ಭವ ಭ್ರಮೆ ಕಳೆಯಲಿ ಶಿವೆ ಶ್ರೀ ಶಾರದೆ ತವ ಗತಿ ಮೋರೆಯುವೆ ಶಿವೆ ಶ್ರೀ ಶಾರದೆ ತವ ಗತಿ ಮೋರೆಯುವೆ ನಿನ್ನಡಿದಾವರೆ ಎನ್ನಯಾಸರೆ ನಿನ್ನಡಿದಾವರೆ ಎನ್ನಯಾಸರೆ ಮಂಜಿಸುದಾಸನ ಭಿನ್ನಮಾದೆ ನಿನ್ನಡಿದಾವರೆ ಎನ್ನಯಾಸರೆ ಮಂದಿಗೋದಾಸನ ಭಿನ್ನಮಾದೆ ತವ ಕೃಪೆ ಬೆಳಗಲಿ ಭವ ಭ್ರಮೆ ಕಳೆಯಲಿ ತವ ಕೃಪೆ ಬೆಳಗಲಿ ಭವ ಭ್ರಮೆ ಕಳೆಯಲಿ ಶಿವೆ ಶ್ರೀ ಶಾರದೆ ತವ ಗತಿ ಮೋರೆಯುವೆ ಶಿವೆ ಶ್ರೀ ಶಾರದೆ ತವ ಗತಿ ಮೋರೆಯುವೆ Satsang Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriditam Kalmashapaham Sravanamangalam Srimadatam Krishna Bhuvi Granantaye Bhurida Jana Tava Katamritam Tapta Jivanam Krishna Kavibiriditam Kalmashapaham Sravanamangalam Srimadatam Krishna Bhuvi Granantaye Bhurida Jana
Mute means make sure that it is not muted, the lecture also. You should reduce the volume, not muting it, because then people say they can't hear me.
That is the mic. Yeah, okay. Now it is reduced.
Swamiji, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh. Taking refuge in the holy feet of Sri Sarada Devi, Universal Mother, and Sri Ramakrishna, the teacher of the world, our humble salutations to them forever and ever. Kalyananam avakala nidhi kapi karunya sima nitya moda nigama pajasa mauli mandhara mala sampadivya madhu vijayinaha sannidattam sadame Taisha Devi Shakala Bhavana Prarthana Kamadenu. May Divine Mother, the infinite source of all auspicious things, the ultimate abode of the abode of compassion, one who is glorified in Vedas and Vedantas, and divine consort of Sri Ramakrishna, the unique benefactor of all the worlds, always manifest before me. My humble salutations to you all. Last week, we celebrated one of our monastic disciples' birth anniversary. That is, monastic disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Advaitananda. So let us offer a tribute to the revered Swami, and then we continue with our Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Swami Advaitananda's pre-monastic name was Gopal Chandra Ghosh. He was the oldest of the monastic disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, even older than Sri Ramakrishna. So besides, there were three Gopals, or two Gopals we could say. So Sri Ramakrishna, to distinguish from the other Gopal, he used to call him as Gopal Da, or it is otherwise known as elder brother. Gopal, elder brother, like that. So Gopal was married man, and at the death of his wife, he received a severe shock and did not want to live further, and he was depressed for many reasons. A friend of his, who is a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, recommended him to visit Dakshineshwar, so which he did. Gopal did not first benefit anything from the first visit of Sri Ramakrishna. So he shared that to his friend. His friend insisted, please repeat your visit. Repeating the visit to the holy person will enlighten you much better. So he did that. So this symbolizes that we have to frequently get in touch with the holy person, not just once, and not that we become a sitar player by just touching the sitar. You have to practice. You have to frequently visit. So that will purify our mind. So that is the symbol. So the Gopal Da compiled, and the time was, the time went on, he caught the love of Sri Ramakrishna. So the Ramakrishna's simple explanation that unreality of the world, he admired that statement. See, it made a deep impression, in fact, on his mind. So he decided to give up the world for the search of God. So the purpose of the human life, Sri Ramakrishna says, is to realize God. That is the purpose. And in fact, enjoying the world by sacrificing the God realization is not acceptable in any religion, in fact. So Ramakrishna used to say that the boat can very well be on the water, but we should ensure that the water does not enter the boat. So we can be in the world, but we should not allow the worldliness to enter within us. So we have to use the world as an instrument to manifest our divinity. So that is the master message of Sri Ramakrishna. So ultimately, he renounced the world, means he gave up his usual life and dedicated his entire life in service of Sri Ramakrishna when he was ill in Kasipur. The story goes like that. And this Swami was an embodiment of method and orderliness. He used to keep things very neat. So that habit of this Swami was admired and appreciated by Sri Ramakrishna very much. See, we have millions of saints. Christianity have many saints. Hindus, they have lots of them. Islam, any religion you take. So our goal is also to imitate that sainthood in our life. We might evaluate and compare. They didn't have much work. We are engrossed in many worldly activities. I have to pay my bills. I have to go to work. I have to look after my children. I have different roles to play as a husband, as an employee, as a brother, as a son, daughter, like that. So I know we are all different and we are employed in different vocations. But the point here is, let us continue with that. But we need to imbibe the characters of what those saint people manifested in their life. So definitely we cannot be how Sri Ramakrishna lived. It's very difficult. At least we can imbibe few characters from good virtues from their life and implement in our life and practice it. So that much we can do. So Advaitananda was such a saint in our order. So his service to Holy Mother was equally wholehearted. And as the bashful mother, she hardly spoke to any. So, but she spoke to few of his monastic disciples. One is Advaitananda, the other is Latu Adbhutananda, and few others. And also Gopal Da used to attend to her chores and help Holy Mother in her, all other activities, helping Sri Ramakrishna. One day, Gopal Da expressed a desire to Ramakrishna, that is his beloved master, to donate some ochre cloths and rosaries to some monks. Then Ramakrishna, that happened in Kasipur, that is few days or few months before his departure. Then master replied that you won't find better monks than those boys who are there, referring to his own monastic disciples. So he ordered Advaitananda to give those ochre cloth, that is the kind of cloth like this, and rosaries to do japa to those monks. So Sri Ramakrishna distributed those clothes, ochre cloths, and groceries to the individual. That is Vivekananda, Vedananda, all. There is 12 or 13 disciples got it, maybe 12. So thereupon, this Gopal Da, this particular act of Gopal Da gave a seed to the Ramakrishna order. So Ramakrishna himself started this order. And that is the, it is not, of course, you people say from Totapuri and all this, but that is another aspect. I may not deny that, but the Ramakrishna order is started by Sri Ramakrishna from this act. So please observe here, he used Advaitananda as a substratum. So the word Advaita is there. Now again, Advaita is the substratum of Ramakrishna's preaching. Now again, Advaita, as far as I'm concerned, I'm just saying this. People can deny that also. I welcome that, because arguments, discussions are always welcome. So I say Advaita has three different meanings. One is no to. People who wants to follow, they can follow Shankaracharya. Then same Advaita has a meaning no second. So that Ramanujacharya's philosophy can be accommodated there. Same Advaita has another meaning of uniqueness, unequal. So Madhvacharya philosophy can be followed. So Ramakrishna very subtly accommodated all the three philosophies in that one word and made the scope available for the aspirants to follow. So because Ramakrishna was accommodating, nothing is neglected there. He was accommodating all faiths. Then later, Advaitananda visited Varanasi after the Mahasamadhi or demise of Sri Ramakrishna. So in Varanasi, during cold days, in those days it was extremely cold. So he used to wake up early morning and go to the Ganges and take bath, and shivering used to run back to the center and chant hymns. And he was so perfect in following the routine. And people admired him for that. And later, Swami Advaitananda lived in Belur Math after inauguration of Belur Math. And, he stayed at the new Belur Monastery, founded by Swami Vivekananda. He was managing many affairs, chores of the monastery, and he was in charge of gardening. But he had he was very systematic, and he took scrupulous care of all the garden, and he was very particular in that. So the novices who were working under him could not cope up with his perfection. So they used to get nice scoldings from Advaitananda. So he is a senior monk. So the people, used to not be comfortable with that. But they took it as a blessing. Every scolding of a monk is a blessing. So they took that way. And also he taught them how to Sri Ramakrishna in all. And that teaching later corrected his own perception. So after a few days or years, he stopped scolding anyone. Because when he scolds any of the novice, then that person is Sri Ramakrishna. Then how can he scold Ramakrishna? How can he find fault with Ramakrishna? So he has saturated with that vision. So later he stopped. And there was a fun between Advaitananda and Subodha. Advaitananda used to hate tea. He doesn't like drinking tea. Subodhananda used to love tea. He doesn't need anything except tea. They give him tea, he is very happy. So our Swami Advaitananda warned all that if they drink tea, it would lead them to dysentery. So it warned monks not to drink tea. But Subodhananda asserted emphatically that each drop of the tea in a cup would produce a new drop of blood. So, he used to admire people, encourage people to drink tea, and Advaitananda used to discourage people to drink tea. But as on today, in Belur Math, tea is available. So people, we cherish drinking tea in Belur Math. And he was very steadfast in his sadhana. So the whole of religion or philosophy we may discuss and argue on all this, but ultimately what we practice is it is in our hand. How we become, it is in our hand. So sadhana is the major teaching of any religion. So he in his last days of his life, he was engrossed in his sadhana, and he elicited admiration and if not reverence from other monks also. So they revered him for his perfection, and he never gave lecture, he never initiated anybody. All the time he was engrossed in his own spiritual sadhanas in silence. And he used to say that the Ramakrishna used to tell him not to twist the truth even for fun. Then he traveled extensively to Kedarnath, Badrinath, Varanasi, Haridwar, and then south to Rameshwaram. And he kept sound health. He did not misuse his body by overeating, undereating, always balanced consumption of food. And after suffering from stomach troubles, and those days we didn't have enough medication, and on 28th December 1909, at the age of 81, he left his mortal body. So to see God in all, a beautiful story happened in our Bengaluru ashram. So during Yatishwaranandaji time. Yatishwaranandaji was vice president and a great monk of our order, who dedicated his life for spiritual sadhana, not just a flamboyant speak, lecturing and all this. His sadhana, the way of life, then we led. Those monks, of course, he was a great orator, and he was in Germany for a few years. And when the German war was there, so he left and returned to India, and he was in Bengaluru ashram. So his assistant was Purushothamananda. So Yatishwaranandaji and Purushothamanandaji were living in the same Bengaluru ashram. And I think Purushothamanandaji's guru is Yatishwarananda.
Yes. Purushothamananda is that.
So that you can see his photo, that Swami is Purushothamanandaji. And he was in charge of the kitchen of Bengaluru ashram.
So, maybe still a brahmachari.
Maybe, I don't know. What was this? He was a Swami or brahmachari? I don't know. So a couple came to meet Yatishwarananda. So he was very much revered those times, and many people from all over the world came to meet Yatishwarananda. So a couple came just maybe a few minutes after the lunch hours of our ashram. Purushothamananda received them and gave a seat in foyer and informed Yatishwaranandaji about their waiting. Yatishwaranandaji heartily received them, and they both were his initiated disciples. Of course, we are all disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, but others or other form, our gurus are the mediums, instruments. But ultimately, our guru is Sri Ramakrishna. And Yatishwarananji thought to give them some food. So he called Purushothamananji and asked, was there any food available to feed them? Then Purushothamananji checked with the kitchen hand and the the cook. The food was there, luckily. So he informed food is there to be given, offered to our devotees. Yatishwarananji accompanied to the kitchen, and it was hot summer day. The food was hot. The summer, the scorching hot.
No AC there.
So that time there was no AC and all. So he took. Even now there is no dining hall is not AC, air conditioned. So the food was served, hot food, and our devotees were a bit uncomfortable. They couldn't eat the food readily. So Yatishwarananji took the hand fan, that is hand fan made of bamboo, and he was fanning the food. And also he was fanning devotees too. So Purushothamananji standing there felt uncomfortable, and he is my guru and he is also guru of many people. And why is he fanning? So can I do that instead? So he requested Swami, Swami, I will fan for you all. Please sit, and so you please observe. But Yatishwarananji hesitated. Don't worry, I will do it. And Purushothamananji was a bit feeling a sigh and a bit guilty. What is this? I am doing nothing, but my guru is doing the work. Then they left, the couple left happily. And later, Purushothamananji was a bit hesitant. In those days, especially in South India, they wouldn't ask Guru a question directly. So they feel reverence and they keep that within themselves. But Yatishwarananji understood the mind of Purushothamananji and called him. I know your apprehension. You know why I fanned? Because the couple who came is Lakshmi and Narayan. You didn't see them in that vision. So the Lord himself came with his consort. So it is my duty to give food and fan them and make them comfort. So that was the vision of Yatishwarananji. He always felt of seeing God in all. So we need to imbibe these characters in our life. And how much to imbibe these characters, we need to practice the virtues taught by Sri Ramakrishna. And for that, the Gospel of Ramakrishna is going to help us. So last, recapitulating the previous class, we are in the second chapter. So Sri Ramakrishna says that, I'm just recapitulating the previous. So Ramakrishna says, God and his glory. The universe is the glory. What is the glory of God? Universe. Universe is the Shakti, the glory, like the sun and its rays. The rays cannot be without sun. And there is no sun without rays. And the people see his glory, but forget the God. That is where our problem comes. And to solve this problem, that is what the remedies we are discussing and doing all these religious practices. The continuous and previous class we discussed continuous company with holy person and be in prayers. Very important. You have to be, that continuity should be there. Frequent meeting with holy people, holy company, holy association. Not once in a year or once in 15 years or 20 years. Frequent company. Now we have all kinds of gadgets. You can call, message, email, talk. All those days you have to write letters. Those days have gone. And also Sri Ramakrishna says, dictates the benefits of the holy company. We want to know, what do I get if I do this? If there is no benefit, I will not do. This is how we are tuned in our life. I need benefit. I need some utility. Otherwise, I will not act. The benefits are, it helps us to earn for God. Second, it helps us to feel the God is our own. Third, it helps us to discriminate between real and unreal. So what is real? Seeing spirit as spirit. And what is unreal? Seeing spirit as matter. Swamiji clearly says in his lecture. And the reality is to imitate God. To understand real is to imitate God, who is the supreme spirit. We need to imitate him by imbibing that auspicious qualities which he has. And then what is unreal? The worldliness. So attachment to the worldliness is unreal, which needs to be forgiven. Swamiji states this clearly. He says, I just read his quotation. The truly spiritual, a person who is truly spiritual, sees spirit as spirit and not as a matter. It is spirit that makes nature move. It is the reality in nature. So action is in nature and not in spirit. Spirit is always the same, changeless and eternal. See, there is always dispute in Vedanta whether there is one soul or many souls, whatever it may be, whatever the belief may be. The underlying common thing is this, that we need to understand. The spirit and matter are in reality the same, but spirit as such never becomes matter, and matter as such never becomes spirit. So they are distinct from each other, inseparable. There is no transposition in its nature, though they are together. The spirit will never mix with matter, matter will never mix, will not have the spirit's nature. They are too distinct from each other, inseparably as one. That is why we say spirit and matter are in reality the same. So why does, and also we discussed last class, why does man have sinful tendencies? The Ramakrishna answers, it is because of the karma. So last week I said about the teacher. When a teacher is teaching a class of 50 or 60 students, she or she may be teacher, teaches in equality. She imparts the same message to all. But when it comes to an examination time or evaluation of answers, then she cannot see everyone the same. She has to evaluate the paper based on their karma, the student's answers. If student is not answering correctly, she cannot put right for that. She cannot show equality there. She has to fail the student and pass the right answer student. That she cannot show the equality there. So then you cannot blame teacher for that. It is student who has done the error, but not the teacher. Teacher has imparted the knowledge equally to all. So like that, it is individual karma, our karma, which is to be accounted, not the Lord is waiting to punish us. That we need to, that's what Sri Ramakrishna is trying to say. So what make us to do error, that is desire, anger, greed, pride, jealousy, and delusion. 6 alligators are there. So desire. When desire is intensified or obstructed, we become angry. And when anger, that is the negative. When the desire is obstructed, we become angry. Suppose the desire is not obstructed. Whatever I think, it's happening. I get whatever I feel. Whatever I wish is happening. Then what happens then? Greed will come. Then the greed intensifies, pride will come. Then when the pride intensifies, I am having that position, nobody else should have. Jealousy will come. If anybody else also have the same Tesla car like me, I'm jealous of that. I don't want, it's only me. People should always focus on me, not on anybody else. The jealousy will come. Then when jealousy is, intensified or, flamed more, then it results in delusion. So this is the route. So we also discussed about Hanuman going to Lanka, and he burned the entire city, forgetting the presence of Sita. Then later he realized, what a fool I am to put the whole city on fire, keeping Sita in the city. Then later the celestials, helped him to understand that Sita is safe. So because of the rage, when we are in rage, we lose our discrimination faculty. So these are all discussed in last class, and we proceed to, there is one beautiful sentence in Brihadaranya Upanishad. Atma vare drashtavya srotavya mantavya nididhyasitavyo maitrehi atmano va are darshanena sravanena matya vijnanena idam sarvam viditam. Very beautiful chapter, and in second chapter it comes in Brihadaranya Upanishad, where Yajnavalkya and Maitreyi dialogue. So here the meaning is the self, my dear. Maitreyi is the wife of the Guru, Yajnavalkya. He says the self has to be realized. My dear wife, the self has to be realized. So should be heard of. The self should be heard of, self should be reflected of, and should be meditated upon. So by the realization of the self, my dear, through hearing, reflection, and meditation, all this is known. So now, so far we have heard, we were hearing so much about the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and after the class, I believe that at least you were thinking some concepts, we are able to remember and think some concepts of Sri Ramakrishna. Doesn't matter if we say out, the moment we walk out, we forget. That happens to all of us. Doesn't matter, because it happens in Bhagavad Gita. When you open the book and start reading Bhagavad Gita, we feel so enthusiastic. But the moment we close it, we are back to the square one of the same, completely to the kind of our practical own problems. So when we open the book, we feel so much elated. But when we close the book, we feel depressed. So like that, after the class, we totally forget. That happens to all of us. Doesn't matter, because all these are all our karma. Solely we are improving. So the point here is, here we have heard enough, we cogitated enough. Now meditation is, that is darshana sakshatkara. We should try to see those concepts in our everyday life. Apply those life. Try to apply those things. we might be a computer engineer, or we might be a housewife, or maybe work in hospital, or retired be a personal, or still working as a teacher. So try to apply these Sri Ramakrishna's statements in our life. That's all we have to do. The rest, the grace will come and it will take us. So we are in the page 97 of the second chapter, in the company of devotees. Sri Ramakrishna asked the neighbor. Actually, the first chapter we completed. Now, second chapter we will complete today. I will definitely complete today. So, the neighbor is asking, why has God created wicked people? This is the question we all have. Now, Ramakrishna is going to answer this. He simply says that is his will, his play. He continues, in his Maya, there exists avidya as well as vidya. Here again, Maya has different meanings. Some says Maya is an illusion. Some says it is a power of Brahman. When you say power of Brahman, it is knowledge of Brahman. That is the will of Brahman. Brahman wills. So there exists avidya as well as vidya. Darkness is needed too. It reveals all the more the glory of light. There is no doubt that anger, lust, and greed are evils. Why then has God created them? In order to create saints. So unless we have darkness, we won't know the importance of light. So we need some evil people so that they can create saints. So if you look at our Puranas, Kamsa was there. That is why we had Krishna. Ravana was there. That is why we got Ramachandra. And if you look at many, some evil thing has to happen. And so paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chatuskrita. So there is two acts incarnation does: destruction of the evil and protection of the virtue. So the destruction has to be done. So for that, the evil should be present to destroy. Something should be there to destroy. So for that, there is no doubt that anger, lust, and greed are evil. Why then has God created them? In order to create saints. This is the reply of Sri Ramakrishna. Reply from. So a man becomes a saint by conquering the senses. Is there anything impossible for a man who has subdued his passion? Very important. Chastity. When we have this passion, there's nothing can put us down, nothing can defeat us. This is just a law, but it is up to us to practice. So he can even realize God through his grace. Again, see how his whole play of creation is perpetuated through lust. Wicked people are needed too. At one time, this is anecdote, he says, a tenant of an estate became unruly. The landlord has to send Golak Chaudhary, who was a ruffian, and he was as a harsh administrator, that the tenant trembled at the very mention of his name. Sometimes mother has to take a stick to control the children. Sometimes mother has to yell. Yelling is bad, but that will fix the situation there. So we have experienced all this. So, and in Brahma Sutra, there is a beautiful sutra, Lokavatu Lila Kaivalyam. That is the explanation given by the Veda Vyasa. Even as the kings, without any motive behind or seen to engage in acts for mere pastime, or even as men breathe without a purpose. For for it is their very nature. Why are we breathing? Every inhale and exhale, are we judging any utility? If I inhale, what will I get? If I exhale, what will I get? If you keep on measuring all this, there is why it is our nature. As a human being, we will breathe every day. So like that, when there is Brahman, the world will continue to go. When there is a king, his kingdom is also there. You cannot have a king without a kingdom, nor vice versa, the other way. So as even a children play out for mere fun, but if you ask the children, for them play is very serious thing. For from our side, yeah, children might be playing, but if you ask the child, for child it is something serious. The playing toys is something a serious act for a child. As we go to work and earn money, like that, the child is playing seriously with its toys. So the Brahman looking at us as a child, the God thinks that we are like child. We going to ask your workplace and we work in hospital. For him, what you are doing serious is just a play from the God's perspective. Same way. So also Brahman without any purpose engage itself in creating this world of diversity. So there is a need of everything. One Sita said to her husband, Rama, it would be grand if everyone in Ayodhya were a mansion. I find many houses old and dilapidated. But my dear, said Rama, if all the houses were beautiful ones, what would the nations do? God has created all kinds of things. He has created good trees and poisonous plants and weeds as well. Among the animals, there are good, bad, and all kinds of creatures tigers, lions, snakes, and so on. So, this good and bad is a very individualistic perspective. So as I used to tell, a dead rat may be a filth to us, but it is a feast for an eagle. Right? If we are eagle, we will enjoy that dead rat. But we are human beings, so we consider it as filth. But from the general view, there is no filth or unfilth there. It is kept for the feast. Bird has to survive. Eagle has to survive. So in that way, we all become one time filth and one time good. Same time good also. So another important question a neighbor asks Sri Ramakrishna, Sir, is it ever possible to realize God while leading the life of a householder? That is a very vital question. And everybody, this is the question all the time. Does householder have a vision of God, or only sannyasis are holy people? Can't I be a holy person too? So all these questions. So Sri Ramakrishna replies, certainly. But as I said just now, one must live in holy company and pray unceasingly. So in Ramakrishna's disciples, divided into two, monastic and householders. So he addressed householders in different way and he helped them to realize God. And monastics in a different way. So they are like two eyes as we have. So why do we need two eyes? Can we do answer? There's no answer for that. So the monastic and householder, both are needed, both are equal. So Sri Ramakrishna clearly says that one should weep for God. When the impurities of the mind are thus washed away, one realizes God. The mind is like a needle covered with mud, and God is like a magnet. Needle cannot be united with the magnet unless it is free from mud. Tears wash away the mud, which is nothing but lust, anger, greed, jealousy, pride, and delusion. And they are the cause of the worldly enjoyments as well. As soon as the mud is washed away, the magnet attracts the needle. That is to say, man realizes God. Only the pure in heart can see God. The Christ, exactly what Christ said. The fever patient has an excess of the watery element in his system. So, what can medicines do for him unless that is removed? So, the Sri Ramakrishna emphasis on sadhana. One has to imbibe the virtues, what Sri Ramakrishna says in our life, and start purifying our mind, then automatically the grace will come. Once a king had a cat as his pet. The cat was so obedient to the king. So whenever king, in those days in palace there was no electricity, so they had the lamp, oil lamp. So the cat sit very close to him, and on top of the cat's head, the oil lamp was placed. So the cat obediently sits with king, and wherever king walks in the night, cat also walks with. And the king was feeling very proud of his cat. You see, look at my cat, the world's best cat. It is so obedient to me and very loyal to me, and it has dedicated its entire life for in my service. That was his pride. He was sharing it to his minister. The minister was a wise man. Oh, is it so, Majesty? Tomorrow let us see what happens. So this our minister brought some 5-10 mice, and he opened the cage in the night time. As usual, he was reading some scriptures, and the cat was sitting very close to him, and the lamp was on its head. And the minister came and opened the cage which had some 10-15 mice. It was running hither thither in the our his bedroom or his any room in his palace. Immediately the cat forgot his loyalty. The king is a servant of king, and that's the lamp on his head, and started jumping to chase the mice and have a nice feast. This fellow king was shocked to see how disloyal, and his whole statements were all breached. And he again called his minister. Then he said, I'm totally disappointed by this disloyal cat. I believed to be, but it has deceived me. I'm in deception. And he made an apology to his minister. The minister said, Majesty, our mind is exactly the same. The mind is the cat here. Our mind is the cat. It will obey sometimes, but the moment it sees its sense attractions, it will just go with it. We might feel that I am monk. I've controlled all these things. I might build my own pride. I'm a yogi. All this, it is not. I have to be extremely careful, like walking on the razor blade. Sri Swamiji says that. Kathopanishad clearly says that. So all our lives are also like that. So we have to continuously keep that in our mind. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna says. Once we wash our mind with the virtues, then the glory of the God's grace come to us. So there is a beautiful Yoga Sutra. As we are running time, so I have to finish this. So I'm going to skip this. I'll just read the Yoga Sutra. That is Maitri Karuna Mudito Upekshanam Sukha Dukkha Punya Apunya Vishayanam Bhavanatah Chitta Prasadanam. It's a very beautiful Yoga Sutra. It is there in first chapter, 33rd verse. So you please read that. It talks about how to conduct ourselves to purify our mind. That is loving. We should be friendly to all, forgiving first. Second is compassion and be supportive. Third, happiness and goodwill. And third is the neutrality. Try to accept both good and bad in the equal way. So that I want to say, but as the time is running out, so why shouldn't one realize God while living in the world? But as I said, one must live in holy company, pray to God, weeping for His grace, and now and then go into solitude. He is repeating the Sadhana Chatushtaya of Sri Ramakrishna. 4 things we discussed many times in our previous class. That is holy company, then praying in solitude, going in solitude frequently, and pray, not for something else. Third is discrimination between real and unreal, and fourth is the devotion, love for God. So these 4 are the Chadana Chatushtaya, means 4-fold essential criteria to be an eligible aspirant. So the neighbor is asking another question. Then householder too will have the vision of God, won't they? Because he was also householder. Ramakrishna says everybody will surely be liberated. Ramakrishna himself gives that guarantee. But one should follow the instructions of the Guru. If one follows a devious path, one will suffer in trying to retrace one's steps. So, please, this Ramakrishna, Sri Krishna also says, Swadharma, what is applicable in one's life to your strength and weakness, pros and cons, analyze and stick on to that. Don't, if you are a soldier, be a soldier. Don't say that I want to be a mendicant. A mendicant can never be a soldier. If you are a soldier, be a good soldier. And don't need to pose ourselves as a good mendicant being a soldier. So that type of fakeness should be avoided. As man may fail to obtain it in this life, perhaps he will realize God only after many births. And Janaka, sages like Janaka performed worldly duties. They performed them bearing God in their minds, as a dancing girl dances, keeping jars or trays on her head. Haven't you seen how the women in northwest India walk, talking and laughing while carrying water pitchers on their heads? It's a very typical, beautiful anecdote example. In southern western India, the ladies, in those days, they have to go and draw water from tanks and rivers, not like you open the faucet, the water comes. They have to go and fetch. So they used to carry 10 containers on top, on one, on another. Like it's quite 10, imagine 10 pods on your head. So they easily walk and they chat, they argue also, these ladies. Nothing, they will not drop their pots. Their entire concentration is there on the pot. But all the time, but all other chores, they are easily doing and they're walking. And not the road is not like what we walk on. It's rugged road. So comfortably they walk. And they fight and argue also. And they do trading. They exchange beetle leaves and many things they do. So, like that, we need to concentrate on God, even though when we are engaged in all other activities. So, we need to remember this. And again, the next neighbor asked question. Just you refer to the instruction of the Guru. How shall we find him? So another big question. Who can be a Guru? Who is our Guru? We need to know the criteria of Guru. So Master replies, Sri Ramakrishna replies, everyone, anyone and everyone cannot be a Guru. Very important statement. So a huge timber floats on the water and can carry animals as well. But a piece of worthless wood sinks if a man sits on it or drowns him. Therefore, in every age, God incarnates himself as the Guru to teach humanity. Sachitananda alone is the Guru. That is, God himself is the Guru. So it's very difficult to find who our Guru is. But we have to wait and see. And wherever the Sachitananda means, the Sachitananda can take any form and help us. And ultimately, the Guru whom we got initiation is, or they are all a kind of, faucets or instruments. The ultimate Guru is Sachitananda alone. So, Sri Ramakrishna, I wanted to tell a story, but we will run out of time. So, anyway, I think I can tell this story. The monk who asked, "Who is your?" Monk was meditating in a riverside. The people went to him, and he was giving benedictions and blessings to all. So, among that devotees, a guy or a lady asked the Guru, that monk, "Swami, who is your Guru?" Usually they ask this question. Then he replied, "I have 3 gurus." "Oh, you have 3 gurus? Swami, who are they? They want to know the lineage. What is this Guru lineage? Then he said, "I have 3 gurus. You know who they are? A thief, a dog, and a small girl." "A thief is your Guru?" "Yes, a thief is my Guru." "And a dog?" "Yes, dog is my Guru." "And a small little girl, maybe in 8-10 years old little girl?" "Yes." Then they asked, "Please tell me how you accepted them as your Guru." Then our monk repeats, reminisced his meeting, selecting them as his Guru. So he used to visit. He's a mendicant monk, so he visits for alms. So while he is visiting a village, he found a thief was breaking a house. Then he needed shelter, our Guru. So he asked the monk, the thief, "See, I'm looking for some accommodation." Then thief thought, okay, if I take this fellow and accommodate in my house, then he can protect his things what he stole. So he understood that this mendicant monk is an honest fellow because he did not have anything with him, just his loin cloth. Then he thought, okay, he can act like a security to my Alibaba cave. You know Alibaba cave? That story, beautiful story, Alibaba and 40 thieves. So he can be a security. So this monk was accommodated in his house. But thief every day, only night is night duty. Daytime he takes rest. Night duty he is very alert. So the thief every night he goes to commit theft. The morning he comes empty-handed. Nothing, even no luck for him. So he was, but every night steadfast, though he was committing theft, he was steadfast in that. So the monk says, though every night, every morning was disappointment to this fellow, not even one day I have seen him depressed. So I could admire his perseverance. So though every time we fail, we should not be depressed. We should be enthusiastically rise ourselves for the next day. Let failure be millions, doesn't matter. Let us rise and go. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Swamiji says, be enthusiastic, play. That spirit I learned from this fellow. So he is my first guru. Then he further goes into the forest. He leaves him and then goes to the forest, and there he finds a dog barking at its own reflection in the pond, thinking that it is another dog. It's a quite deep well. The dog is barking to and fro, and then suddenly, it jumped to attack its own reflection, thinking that it is another dog. With that dog, the monk found that bravery. Jump, even though it is deep well. He was so brave to jump. He did not fear. The dog did not, understand the depth of the well, but very brave to face the brute. So that attitude we should have. The bravery, boldness that he learned from dog. Third, he was following he's a mendicant monk, so he was moving in the town. There he found a little girl holding a light, candle and the fire on the candle. And she was walking on the street. Then he went to the girl and asked, "Oh dear, how did you get the fire on this candle?" He asked this question. How did you get the fire on this candle? Then that little girl blowed the fire. Then this girl questioned the monk. Can you please tell me where this fire went? Now the fire has disappeared, but can you tell me where it went? Then he couldn't answer. So same way, how it came, we don't know also. How it went away, we don't know. So then with that incident, he learned that the world is always fleeting, impermanent. So these three were his guru. And the last question, very important question, Sri Ramakrishna was asked: what is knowledge? What is knowledge that we need to obtain? What is that knowledge we need to obtain? You always taking. We were told that we need knowledge. We need knowledge to get rid of the ignorance. What is that knowledge? What is the contents of that knowledge? What is the remedy? Please tell me the remedy of the contents, description of that remedy. Sri Ramakrishna answers, what is knowledge? And what is the nature of this ego? That is I. What is the nature of this I? And what is the nature of this knowledge? I and knowledge. God alone is the doer and none else. And then that is the knowledge. God alone is the doer and none else is the knowledge. I am not the doer. I am mere instrument in his hand. Ramakrishna clearly says that. Therefore I say, who says? Ramakrishna says, O mother, thou art the operator and I am the machine. Thou art the indweller and I am the house. Thou art the driver and I am the carriage. I move as thou movest me. I do as thou makest me do. I speak as thou makest me speak. Not I, and but thou. So with this, so what is the, this is the profound teaching of Sri Ramakrishna. Not I, not I. Here I becomes an instrument, a servant of God, not servant of matter, not servant of worldliness. The entire universe belongs to Brahman, and the entire universe is an instrument, and the Brahman is the operator who is controlling it. When we are driving, the car is our instrument, and we are in the car and we are controlling the car, and the car is under our control. You are different from car, and car is different from you, but inseparably together in locomotion. And how can we define this relationship? The universe, that relationship between Brahman and universe, you can call the universe as the power of Brahman, characteristics of Brahman, splendor of Brahman, form of Brahman, body of Brahman, organism of Brahman, and you can even include any other such terms. So Brahman and universe are distinct from each other, but inseparably together as one. So it is non-dual. When we say Brahman, it includes universe. When we say universe, it extends to Brahman in its second significance. So it is non-dual. And Sri Ramakrishna will say in future chapters the beautiful example of bell fruit. And then the Sarvam Kaluidam Brahman means this entire universe is inseparable from Brahman. You can say, I am sitting in America, I'm sitting in the sofa, I'm sitting in Lokesh's house. So when sitting in sofa is correct, that is extended to Lokesh's house, that is correct, is further extended to Oregon, that is correct, and further extended to America, that is correct. So even if I am sitting somewhere on the top of the tree, I can still say I am sitting in America, because the tree is inseparable in the land of America, and this location is inseparable from the land of America. So that is the meaning of Sarvam Kaluidam Brahmam. That is the highest significance of that particular indication, whatever we make in this universe. So with this, we conclude from the last sentences from Pran Krishna's house. The master went to Colonel Vishwanath's, and from there to Lily Cottage. So with this, the second chapter of the gospel is concluded. And we conclude this chapter and also our class. So with all my humble salutations to you, and my humble gratitude for your patience hearing, and my humble prayers to Holy Trio that they should bless us and help us to continue to read this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and practice it in our lives. So what is more important is practice. So we need to realize that God in all is the highest realization according to Sri Ramakrishna. And also I thank for the organizer, that is Lokesh ji, and I thank Mahalakshmi ji, his Patni, to provide all the prasadams, and I also thank Kathy Ma and Sai Lakshmi Ma and Gopinath ji for hosting some of the classes in their house and providing the support for this class to happen by grace of Holy Trio. So Sarvadharma Stapakastam, Sarvadharma Swarupakaha, Acharyana Mahacharyo, Ramakrishnaya Te Namaha. O Ramakrishna, establisher of all faiths, embodiment of all religions, and greatest among the teachers, our salutations to you forever and ever. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. हरि ओम तत्सत्। श्री रामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।
कहो रे जय जय राम कृष्ण नाम, कहो रे जय जय राम कृष्ण नाम। जिए शुभ दिन मिलिए भगत जन, अजिए शुभ दिन मिलिए भगत जन। गाओ गाओ राम कृष्ण नाम, गाओ रे जय जय राम कृष्ण नाम, गाओ रे जय जय राम कृष्ण नाम। राम कृष्ण नामे राम कृष्ण प्रेमे, राम कृष्ण नामे राम कृष्ण प्रेमे। वतीय मुडग धर धाम, गाओ रे जय जय राम कृष्ण नाम, गाओ रे जय जय राम कृष्ण नाम। हरिते भूभार प्रेमावतार, हरिते भूभार प्रेमावतार। प्रभु राम कृष्ण गुणधाम, गाओ रे जय जय राम कृष्ण नाम, गाओ रे जय जय राम कृष्ण नाम। जय राम जय कृष्ण विश्व गुरु राम कृष्ण, जय राम जय कृष्ण विश्व गुरु राम कृष्ण। एकाधारे श्याम शिव श्याम, गाओ रे जय जय राम कृष्ण नाम, गाओ रे जय जय राम कृष्ण नाम। जय श्री गुरु महाराज जी की जय। जय श्री महामाई की जय। जय श्री स्वामी जी महाराज जी की जय। जय श्री श्री दुर्गा माई की जय।